All right, peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of the Mixed Metals Podcast. It's been a long time once again, but from here on out, I'm gonna be more consistent with putting out my 2 episodes a week. My apologies. At least 2 episodes a week. Uh, and sometimes three, sometimes I'll definitely be streaming. I finally got my stream set up, so shout out to that. But yeah, let's get into it. So since I've been away, my 49ers made it to the Super Bowl. Today happens to be the day that the 49ers are, preparing to shock the world. I understand that we are the favorites on paper and according to Vegas and all of that, but I do think that we are kind of looked at as the underdog. It's kind of like a insurmountable task at hand, according to the media pundits and that kind of thing. So I look forward to, I'm hoping that the 49ers are able to pull it off this weekend or today. And we'll see, hopefully we'll see a good game either way. I as much as I do like Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback, I like the 49ers about 10, 20 times more than that. So, I'm just hoping that, that we are able to complete the dream season that we have been embarking on so far. I'm hoping that it ends the way that I have expected it to end for the whole season thus far. I did predict that that the Ravens and the 49ers would be in the Super Bowl. So I was 50% right. And if the Ravens would have shown up to the AFC Championship, then who knows? But they were a complete no-show. Um, talk about some NBA news. A lot of trades took place. I believe that OG Anunoby ended up going to the Knicks since we last spoke. Um, Pascal Siakam to the Pacers. I believe I spoke about that before. Um, Terry Rozier going to the Heat. That was a big deal. Kyle Lowry got bought out in that trade by Charlotte, and he ended up going to Philly. Spencer Dinwiddie to the Lakers via the buyout market. A lot of interesting, like a lot of really interesting trades though. Let's see trade grades. Let's see what we got here. We got Royce O'Neal to Phoenix. Just a second. I apologize. All right. Royce O'Neal to the Suns, which is gonna probably be a sneaky good pickup. I'm gonna just look through the teams. That seems to make it a little bit easier. Buddy Hill went to Philly. Philly is my favorite team, so that's pretty good. In my opinion, that's a pretty good pickup. Somebody that can score, uh, on or off the bench. From the bench or in the starting lineup. That's a solid scorer. You spread the floor out with that 3-point shooting. Ben Simmons has been playing lately. He has come back from his injury. Uh, the Hawks stayed pat. They did not trade DeJounte Murray as was kind of up in the air. Um, Grant Williams, who was an absolute no-show for the Mavericks. I can't remember who he got traded to, but he finally got traded. So there was that. One of the Lopez brothers got traded. The Oklahoma City Thunder picked up Gordon Hayward via trade. Uh, that's all the big trades that I can think of. Um, the Clippers have been going off as of late. Uh, let's see. The Lakers have been inconsistent as they have been all season, except for the in-season tournament. They were unstoppable in that, but they can't seem to get it to keep it together once they get it together. But D'Angelo Russell has been um kind of coming into his own once again. So that's pretty good to see. The Timberwolves still lead the West by half a game over the Clippers. There is a 1 game difference between ninth and 10th place, and there's a 2.5 point game difference between ninth and eighth place. And there is a 3.5 game difference between sixth and ninth place, which the Suns are currently sixth and the Lakers are currently ninth. So definitely seems to be more competitive on that side as far as where you got your great teams. You nobody is truly separated out in the West. And in the East, as of right now, the first three seeds are the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Bucks. Pretty interesting there. Philly with the injury to Joel that'll keep him out for at least another 3 weeks from the time of this recording. Uh, like I said, as far as the trades and that kind of thing, I think that they made a worthy trade to kind of to at least try to keep them afloat. Um, and uh, Patrick Beverly ended up going to the Bucks as well. I forgot to mention that. Um, so yeah, I think that they are. I think that they'll be able to stay at least afloat. I don't think that they're gonna go on like a 10 game win streak or anything like that in the meantime. But I think that they'll just be able to keep the wheels steady on the road until Joel is able to come back. Um, so yeah, that's where we are with the NBA right now. Um, Believe it or not, at the moment, I would say that women's college basketball is a lot more exciting than men's. And then on the men's side, I think Juju, is that her name? Juju, she got 51, like I think last week. Just some unbelievable basketball being played on the women's side. Not that it hadn't been, a thing before. I personally, I love all sports in general. So I'm glad to see that the women are finally getting that shine. There are some superstars, and I think that they leave room for women to become superstars before they enter the professional ranks by their rule of they have to stay at least 3 years before they are able to declare for the draft. So I think that mixed with the NIL and the things that we are able to do and how women are able to market themselves and that kind of thing. It makes it a little more comfortable staying there for that 3 years with $1 million in your pocket or whatever. Like you kind of making money that you may not make in the WNBA, which is unfortunate. Hopefully they are able to you know, level that out at least a little bit. Not saying that because I'm of the understanding that I get it that the WNBA does not provide as much as the NBA as far as um fans or anything like that. I understand that the fanfare is a lot less in the WNBA than in the NBA, but I think that there are ways to change that. Um, and I just just put me on the marketing team if anything. You know what I mean? Uh, I think that I could. I'm being facetious, but I do believe that there are some things that could be done in order to make the WNBA as or at least mostly as appealing as the NBA. There's a lot of cliches saying that nobody want to see basketball below the rim and that kind of thing, but I don't think that dunks are even as big of a deal in today's NBA as it used to be. Everything 3 pointers now, so I think that argument can kind of go by the wayside. I think that if we just focus on the product at hand, like just professional basketball, women competing um, and just market it better. Get to a point where expansions take place because I think that's another thing. They don't play nearly as many games, and I think that kind of is. Many could say that the NBA plays perhaps too many games, right? But at the same time, when the season is over, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We kind of twiddling our thumbs and that kind of thing. So uh, people then maybe go to baseball or something like that, but it's not a lot of fans that are fans. It's not a lot of fans that are fans of the NBA and also fans of the MLB. You see a lot of crossover between the NFL and the NBA, but just culturally speaking, I guess, it's just is not a lot of crossover between the NFL and the MLB or the NBA and the MLB. Um, so where you can say that there are too many games in the NBA, uh, we kind of find ourselves to be lost without it, and during the off season and that kind of thing. So, uh, I think that that's the time for the marketing for the product of the WNBA because it's played in the like in the summer or during the NBA offseason mostly. I think that that's the time for the product to be amplified and to be marketed as the premier product of at least the off season or the regular the this for the rest of this time for the time that we are here. It should be marketed as such because it should have the number one market share during that time. But it just it doesn't seem to translate for whatever reason. There's a disconnect between the fans, the women, like the average female fan and the average female player. So I think that there's so much that can be done to make because I mean it is still a great product. It is still very entertaining to watch. And I don't know specifically the disconnect, but I've been enjoying myself watching women's college basketball more this season than I have men's basketball, and I can't say that I've ever felt that way in the past as far as college goes. So that's something, that's something. Want to talk about music real quick. We got a couple cool releases. Stove God Cooks, one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite newer artists, especially of Griselda, and I think he's signed to Baby Grand Records or something like that. Baby Grande, I'm not sure. Um, but he finally put out a single, a conductor produced single. It's a pretty good song. Pretty good song. Let me catch the name of it. And also Stove God says that he got like 7 albums worth of material ready to go. And I'm sure that that's probably at least partially true because uh I mean Reasonable Drought came out in like 2021, I believe. And I mean he's been doing like guest verses and all kind of stuff in the meantime. So I don't I don't doubt it, you know. And I think that he's probably just been sitting on a lot of music and he makes the kind of music that if it appeals to you, then it appeals to you. You know what I mean? It's something that it's not for everybody, but for the people that it is for, is I mean, it's amazing. And I don't think that he has missed yet as far as his independent releases. I mean, as far as his solo singles or his guest verses. I like I said, he's one of my favorite newer rappers. I was able to see him live when Griselda came through. I think I think I saw him twice actually. Because he went on tour with Conway the first time, and then Griselda as a whole went on tour, and that was pretty dope to see the wrong streets and everybody brought their own gang. So uh, it was Westside with Griselda, it was Conway with drum work, and it was Benny with BSF. So it was a very long concert, but well worth it. So yeah, I was able to see Stove God twice, and he didn't disappoint. He doesn't disappoint as far as his music in general. So I just think that if if he can get that push, I think that he's primed for a big year. Another release that occurred this past weekend. Vultures One by Kanye and Ty Dolla Sign. Very interesting cover for that. Um, After my first listen, I think it's really really good. I think that it let's see as far back as Yay, I would say, because that's kind of where things really really started to change for Kanye. or Ye as he's affectionately known. Since Ye, I would say that this is between one and two, between number one and number two as far as uh his uh his good albums. I think that Donda and this album could, battle it out for for which one is the better album. Um, I think, just top to bottom, the soul samples and uh the 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 verses are more like melodic these days. I'm not expecting for Kanye to rap as much anymore, but I think that Ty Dolla Sign is kind of the perfect person for that, for his sparseness as far as verses goes. And I think that the production sounds good. I really got to give it a couple more listens to do like a full in-depth review. But just upon my first listen, I think it's pretty good. It sounded good. I didn't skip anything. I didn't which I mean I can't even count that as a stat on the first listen because I never skip on the first listen unless it's just absolutely awful. Um, so yeah, I think that was a pretty good it was pretty good volume one. I'm not sure whether or not volume two and three are just gonna be different versions of these songs or if it's gonna be completely different material. It'll probably end up being just different material, especially if he's spacing them out months in advance. Because I think volume two ain't supposed to come out until next month. So um they were probably sitting on a lot of music because I think if I'm not mistaken, this album had 18 songs on it, and that's the norm for like albums these days, but not quite what I expected. As I expected maybe no more than 12 songs, especially if it's going to be a volume one. So I imagine that they were probably sitting on a lot of music. Very interesting cover, if I didn't say that before, is Kanye in the hockey mask, uh, I think all black, and his wife turned backwards but topless, with like a square worth of fabric covering her butt. uh just we are in that era of Ye these days. I don't know why Ty Dolla Sign wasn't on the cover at all. And another interesting thing is that it was released under Yeezy instead of like not Def Jam or UMG or anything like that. It was just Yeezy. So I thought that was pretty interesting. A lot of people seem to be coming out as far as the samples that he's used, most famously, I would say Ozzy Osbourne. Uh, he denied Ye the sample to War Pigs, to a live rendition of War Pigs, and apparently Kanye used it anyway. And so he spoke out against that. The anti-Semitism and those kind of things that rub people the wrong way. Even though he apologized for it, I mean he's probably I can't say that I'm directly affected by it, but I can imagine that he hurt people like that community. Um, he hurt them, on a level that maybe can't be forgiven because because he's Ye. I've heard that Ye just pops back out when he's ready to sell us something, and that appeared to be the case this time. He didn't apologize until he started getting on a press on a promo run for the album. And he shopped it around to different labels and different distributors and those kind of things, but nothing seemed to materialize from that. So he released it under Yeezy, and you gotta watch who you uh watch the people that you mean to on the way up because you never know what happened on the way down. Because not that I mean Kanye is a he was probably a sad millionaire, but at the time of his comments, he was valued at billions, like multiple billions. So I mean I've never had access to that kind of money in my life, but I just can't imagine going from the B to the M. You know what I mean? I can't imagine uh, losing that much money with just my words. It's just I can't imagine myself saying anything that hateful or hurtful to any group of people um, that'll put me in that much trouble or that'll hurt that many people and that kind of thing. So, uh, I mean, people are always gonna support Ye. He's still, if I'm being absolutely truthful, he's still my favorite artist of all time. I would say, next to Prince and Michael Jackson and those people. And Jay-Z is still my favorite rapper. But Kanye, as far as artistry, I don't think that we've seen an artist of his magnitude be able to do what he's been able to do. Have a hand in everything that he's had a hand in and succeed on pretty much every level. We've seen his perhaps his highest ups and perhaps his lowest lows. You know what I mean? Him going through the divorce and the bipolar diagnosis and those kind of things. So, um, a historic career, a historic climb, just a very very interesting story to be told there. I'm not sure if you've seen the Genius documentary that is on Netflix about Ye. Um, but I'm just imagining a biopic and what's going to take place in that, because I'm sure that there are still moments of his story that haven't been told yet, and I'm just interested to see the full picture when it's all said and done. Uh, if I want to give my Super Bowl prediction at this time, it's incredibly biased, so forgive me for that. But I say Niners 27, Chiefs 19. I say 19. Um, Super Bowl MVP Christian McCaffrey probably. Uh, and I mean, it would be unbelievable to see Brock Purdy get a ring. It would be unbelievable to see Kyle Shanahan finally get that monkey off his back. It would be unbelievable to see Debo Samuel shine in this light. I mean, just the whole team is so much talent on this team. Um, and we would possibly have another year of, this core group at least being able to stay together if because Brock Purdy wouldn't be due to get paid until after next season. So I'm just hoping that that all goes well. I'm hoping that the 49ers are able to pull this off, and this game will determine a lot. It will determine my attitude for the upcoming episode. I'll say whenever that episode is to be recorded and released. This has a lot of weight holding, a lot of weight bearing on it. So I do look forward to seeing you all next time. I appreciate you joining me. Again, I promise to be more consistent. I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise, I promise. There is nothing stopping me now as far as consistency. So I will be more consistent. I will be just, just more about this, more promotional and those kind of things. Like I said about my stream, I definitely uh, try to build an audience there and point them over to the podcast and that kind of thing. Just I look forward to seeing this grow. I look forward to, I look forward to the unknown, if you will. So until next time, it's been a pleasure and peace.